What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got another one of those dual supporters, combi supporters, combo supporters, tamers. Call them what you will, ladies and gentlemen, but that's what we've got to have a little bit of a look at in today's video. Plus a rather nice looking level 4 green Digimon, plus a very nice level 6 green Digimon, and quite frankly, there's good stuff happening. Obviously, the reveals for Digimon have been coming really thick and fast over the last few days. So you are going to see 2 videos on a bunch of days. You are going to see cards getting grouped together, etc. I basically made a commitment to you lovely ladies and gentlemen that I'm going to bring you news and analysis of every single new card revealed. And you have my word that that will continue. Partly because I feel a bit of an obligation, finish what I've started, and partly because I adore the Digimon trading card game, and I love talking about Digimon cards. So we need to start off then having a little bit of a look at Izumi Koshiro and Mimi Tachikawa. I know. And I'm a fan of Mimi, right? I've talked about that Mimi from Boost 1.0 so much. It's a phenomenal tamer card, and quite frankly, I don't think we've had anything up until this particular set where things have accelerated, which can really match Mimi in terms of being an awesome tamer. Though, like I've said, in BT5, the awesome tamers have been coming thick and fast. So our translation comes from the lovely folks over at the Ensan Gaming channel on Facebook, which by now you probably guessed that, to be honest with you. And we have a 4-cost tamer, which is high. It's on the high end. It's about as high as tamers tend to go. But you know what? We can live with that, because it's really good. At the start of your turn, if your opponent has a rested Digimon, you gain 2 memory. Now, we saw the whole gaining memory on the other dual ones we've seen so far, and they've had kind of different effects. So the Taichi and Yamato, you gain 2 memory at the start of your turn if your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon. And the Sora and Joe, you gain 2 memory at the start of your turn if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards. This is an even lower barrier than them. Your opponent must have a resting Digimon, a suspended Digimon. Well, obviously they're going to have a suspended Digimon. Unless it's super early in the game, they have no Digimon, or for some reason they decide not to attack with any of their Digimon on the board, or rest them for any other purpose, they are going to have a resting Digimon. So you know what? Yes, this is absolutely fine by me. This seems like it is going to work almost every time. This seems like a ridiculously low barrier to gain 2 memory, and that is just wonderful as far as I'm concerned. So you should be gaining 2 memory at the start of your turn. That sounds pretty gosh darn good, but wait, there's more. Because on your turn, when your level 5 green Digimon attacks, you may suspend this tamer, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you find a level 6 Digimon there, you can Digivolve your level 5 into a level 6 without paying the memory cost. Just for free. Which on the one hand is ridiculous, and on the other hand, we do need to hold back just a little bit. So I could show you something like Nidogmon here. Now, Nidogmon is a 5-cost to Digivolve, and it's amazing. And when you Digivolve, you got Digi-Burst 4, and then you get to suspend all of your opponents' 5,000 or less Digimon, and all their suspended Digimon go to the bottom of their deck, etc. And yeah, it would work with this just fine. So that's amazing, and it's a 5-cost, so you're essentially saving 5 memory, and that is awesome. But the problem is, you've got to attack with your level 5 Digimon. And one of the problems about attacking with your level 5 Digimon is that they ain't that sturdy. Your average level 5 Digimon is 7,000 power. Which means that if you attack the security stack, for instance, there is a very good chance you're actually going to get deleted because you're all weak. Now, if we go to the translation that we have, I'm imagining that you actually Digivolve before you attack. I.e. you attack, suspend, Digivolve, and then the attack resolves. I think we're going to need a ruling on this, but it's going to make a very, very big difference. If I've got to actually attack with my level 5, that's not going to be looking amazing because I'm going to be kind of weak and there's a decent chance I get deleted. But if I get to attack with a level 6, then I'm going to be much more powerful. Regardless of the ruling, remember, you only get to Digivolve if there is a level 6 in the top 3 cards of your deck, which there might not be, and if there isn't a level 6, then you are just attacking with a level 5 and you might get deleted. I love this skill. It seems really in keeping with the old Mimi that essentially gives you an extra breeding phase. I love that you're almost always getting 2 memory every turn, so it's a 4-cost tamer, but you're going to pay it back in 2 turns. I love the skill, but the fact that it's not guaranteed to get the level 6, and the fact that if you attack with a level 5 into the stack, you're probably going to get deleted, or at least you should assume you're going to. Mate, and don't get me wrong, you can attack a resting Digimon that's got lower power than you and guarantee that you survive, but at that point it all starts getting a little bit awkward. I'm still giving it... I'm giving it between 4 and 5 Wassies. I'm going to give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. I know we've given that score a bunch lately, and I'm sorry, I like a lot of the cards that we see coming out. It looks amazing, and I love it, and I'm sorry. But let's have a look at a level 4 Weedmon. Now, Weedmon comes in here as a 4-cost to play normally, which is about right for a level 4. 3,000 power, which is very low for a level 4. It's about what you expect on a level 3. 1 cost to Digivolve. And that's amazing, and that's why we're playing it. It is a 1 cost to Digivolve. Now, I will say, it is far from the only 1 cost to Digivolve level 4 green Digimon. Green are the cheaper ones to go about playing, so you need to bear that in mind. There are a few of them. Remember in the starter deck, we got the Kabuterimon that has blocker and loses 2 memory when you attack, but it's a 1 cost to Digivolve that's got blocker, and that is going to guarantee it a whole bunch of play, because it's got blocker. And I know I've said that a few times, but it really is an important point. I mean, going right back to Booster 1.0, we've got Vegemon. The only really good thing about Vegemon is that it's got higher power than average, but 6,000 power is still low. You're still going to get deleted the majority of the time you attack the security stack. So, as far as I'm concerned, right, Vegemon is out because it's vanilla, and we've got other things we can do to Digivolve up. We've got Stingmon. When you... Well, it's got an inheritable skill. When you delete an opponent's Digimon in battle and survive, you gain a memory, so that's pretty good. We've got Gargamon that gives you an extra 1,000 power as an inheritable skill for each of your opponent's rested Digimon. And not for nothing, but a Kabuterimon with the exact same skill. And now we've got Weedmon. So my point is, if you're looking for 1 cost to Digivolve level 4s, we've got them in spades. At the moment, we're playing Kabuterimon and Gargamon for the really nice inheritable skill, or Kabuterimon for the blocking. Can this bully its way in? Well, the skill here says that when you Digi-Burst and trash this card, gain a memory. Now remember, Digi-Burst is that new keyword whereby you have to, so if Digi-Burst 2, you would have to trash 2 of your evolution cards in order to activate the skill. So essentially here, you choose this as one of the cards that gets trashed when you activate the skill, and then although you lose an evolution source, you gain a memory. Is it as good as having a blocker, or having an extra 1,000 power for each of your opponent's rested Digimon? I'm not honestly sure that it is. I love having a 1 cost to Digivolve blocker. Blocking can win you the game. It can prevent your opponent losing, buy you a turn, etc. I'm also, I like having that extra power, especially given that, generally speaking, green is one of the types that have lower power because they've got the easier evolution, etc. So, honestly here, I'm not sure if I love this. Because in a vacuum, right, if we hadn't seen all these other cards, I look at this and go, yeah, sweet, let's do this. This is awesome. But we're not in a vacuum. We've got these other green level 4s. And when I look at these other green level 4s, I come around and go, well, hang on a second. I'm not sure at this stage. I don't think I want to play this over them. I'm going to give it between 3 and 4 Wassies. It's still a good card. It's a 1-cost to Digivolve. That's cheap. Certainly in a Digi-Burst deck where you're going to be Digi-Bursting anyway, you're going to be Digi-Bursting away those inheritable skills, so the inheritable skills aren't relevant, and you're going to be gaining a memory when you Digi-Burst. Maybe, you know, you play a few of these and get a few extra memory throughout the game, so it essentially becomes, over the course of the game, a free-to-evolve level 4. But honestly, I don't like it as much as the other 1-cost level 4s. But as always, there is a comment section if you want to tell me I am dumb. But I did promise you we would get a new level 6 green Digimon to have a little bit of a chat about in this video as well. And I like to think that I am a man of my word. So let's have a little bit of a look at Rafflesamon. What we've got here is a 12 cost to play normally, which is slightly expensive. 11,000 power, which is standard for a level 6. 3 cost to Digivolve from a level 5, which is standard, or a 1 cost to Digivolve from a level 6. Oh, it's another one of those ones, which is to say it's another one of those that can Digivolve either from the level below or the level equal to. So I can essentially either Digivolve a level 5 into this, or I can Digivolve a level 6 into this, and then Digivolve this into another level 6 Rafflesamon, or, you know, I can go whichever way I want with this. Which sounds kind of good. And like I've said before, there's tiny little advantages here. Like, if I don't have the card I want, this is a 1 memory evolution that will let me draw a card. You draw a card when you evolve, which might then get me the card that I want. But it's got a Digi-Burst skill, and having a Digi-Burst skill on something like this is awesome, because I can now have multiple level 6s, which means more Digivolution cards, which means more uses of my Digi-Burst skill. Is it a good one? Well, what we do is Digi-Burst 2, that is trashing 2 Digivolution cards, and all of your Digimon gain 2,000 power for the turn. So if you're having one of those turns where you want to be attacking a lot, this is clearly amazing. But it just does silly little things. Like, let's say you are playing Vegemon. Vegemon's got 6,000 power. That is lower than the average level 5. It is a level 4, but it's lower than the average level 5. But if you boost it up to 8,000 power, it's now higher than the average level 5. Which means, essentially, you've gone from, I expect to be deleted by level 5, 6s, and 7s when I attack the stack, to I expect to be deleted by nothing other than level 6s and 7s, which basically, in my mind, turns it from an I think I'm going to get deleted when I attack the stack to I think I'm going to survive when I attack the stack. And you can keep Digivolving up into this Digimon. So generally speaking, level 6, you can have a level 2, 3, 4, 5, so you can have 2 uses of this. But if you then Digivolve from, you know, into your 3rd level 6, that's a 3rd use of Rafflesamon here. You can have some really powerful turns. But also, on your turn, once during your turn, when your Digimon uses Digi-Burst, you get to choose one of your opponent's Digimon, and then it is unable to attack or block until the end of your opponent's next turn. And this, for me, is what takes Rafflesamon from a good card into a holy moly, that's amazing kind of card. Because what you're essentially doing is every time you Digi-Burst, turning off one of your opponent's Digimon. But bearing in mind, you are going to be able to Digi-Burst essentially every turn for multiple turns in a row. If you go from a level 2 all the way up, and then get a couple of extra ones of these, that is essentially 3 uses of Digi-Burst. Which means 3 turns in a row where all your Digimon have an extra 2,000 power, and you get to choose your opponent's best Digimon and decree that for the remainder of the turn and your opponent's next turn, it cannot attack or block. Which means you turn off their only blocker, they can't block you in the game. Or you turn off their good attacker, and then they're not able to attack for a turn, and then they lose an attack, and then they're 1 attack away from winning, and then you win the game. This is a game-winning thing. I love it. I think this is absolutely brilliant. And then, of course, you've got things like Weedmon to give you that extra memory when you do Digi-Burst it, which works out very, very nicely indeed here. This seems like the kind of Digimon that could absolutely turn games upside down. And I also love the way that we've all had those games, right, where our hand is just chock full of level 6s, but it's hard to have Digivolve all the way up from a level 2 to a level 6 over and over again. So now when you draw the extra level 6s, just Digivolve into the extra level 6s. I'm giving this 5 Wassies, and that does feel a little bit overly generous, and I'm probably going to regret giving it such a high score when it never sees any play. But the fact that you can beef up your own Digimon over and over again, the fact that you can constantly Digivolve, get the extra card advantage you get from that, etc. The fact that you can potentially 3 turns in a row, or maybe more, but generally 3 turns in a row, just turn off your opponent's best Digimon. These are the kind of things that add up over the course of a game to turn you from losing into winning. I really, really like this card. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWazzy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, demand that I make a video of your choosing, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassie Plays.